Peacemaker was an obsessive, homicidal vigilante and a member of the Suicide Squad. Driven by his twisted idea of achieving world peace, he was once tasked with mentoring Tanya Wainwright during a mission to eradicate a cannibalistic metahuman. In Suicide Squad Blaze 2022, the squad's mission was to retrieve data from a terrifying new villain, a cannibalistic powerhouse who had already managed to take down the Justice League. During the chaos, Peacemaker makes a bizarre decision. He takes a pube from the villain, but that choice costs him dearly. The villain pierces Peacemaker straight through the heart, killing him instantly. This brutal moment only reinforces Rick Flagg's words from the movie, "Peacemaker, what a joke." In Vigilante number 36, Adrian Chase had already retired from being Vigilante, passing the mantle to his close friend, Dave Winston. But things quickly spiraled out of control. While Adrian was on a plane hijacked by terrorists, both Peacemaker and the new Vigilante arrived to save the day. Peacemaker took down the terrorists with brutal efficiency, but when Vigilante approached him, confused about who he was, he grabbed Peacemaker's arm. Peacemaker didn't like that. Without hesitation, he fired 6 shots into Vigilante, killing Dave Winston right in front of Adrian Chase. Seeing his close friend murdered before his eyes, Adrian made a vow. He would become Vigilante once again, and this time, his mission was to kill Peacemaker. The two clashed on live television. During the fight, Peacemaker even unmasks Vigilante, exposing him to the entire world. Their brutal battle was interrupted by terrorist gunfire, but Adrian swore one thing: he would avenge Dave Winston by killing Peacemaker. In Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, Amanda Waller forms a new Task Force X to battle the Titans. This Suicide Squad lineup included heavy hitters like Enchantress, Lex Luthor, Peacemaker, and more. In issue number 2, Lex and Enchantress managed to transform Killer Croc into a kaiju to ambush Kong. But the plan backfires. Kong quickly overpowers him and kills Croc right in front of the Justice League. Afterward, Supergirl chases Kong while the League stays behind with Croc's body. That's when Superman detects the Suicide Squad nearby, setting up a fight between both teams. During the battle, Flash charges at Enchantress, but Peacemaker manages to shoot him, grazing his head. The hit is strong enough to knock Flash out and send him for an MRI. The fight quickly ends as Batman rushes Flash to medical care and Superman chases Lex Luthor. That leaves Wonder Woman alone against the squad. Wonder Woman allows herself to be captured, but only to find their base. The moment she's ready, she breaks free and absolutely humiliates Peacemaker, knocking him out with ease. In the 1992 Eclipso comic series, Amanda Waller assigned Peacemaker to a special team called the Shadow Fighters. After Eclipso seized control of a small South American nation, Waller sent the team to take him down and rescue hostages. But when the Shadow Fighters confronted Eclipso, the mission went horribly wrong. They were slaughtered one by one. Peacemaker made one final stand. Heroically sacrificing himself, he destroyed a tank controlled by Eclipso but lost his life in the process. The superhero Yellow Jacket, real name Vince Harley, met a tragic end at the hands of his own son. After forgetting his keys, he entered his home through a window, but his son mistook him for a burglar and shot him. When the mask came off, the boy realized he had killed his father. At his father's grave, the younger Harley vowed the world needed change. Years later, he became governor and eventually president, pushing for superheroes to be used in national security. Harley devised a plan. He would stage his own assassination by Peacemaker, then be revived by Captain Atom. But what he didn't know was that his vice president, Eden, had already killed Captain Atom, and even murdered Peacemaker's girlfriend. Unaware, Harley and Peacemaker went through with the plan. Peacemaker assassinated the president, but was quickly captured by Eden and his men. With Harley dead, Eden assumed the presidency. His first announcement? A return to old-fashioned politics, and the end of the age of superheroes. Christopher Smith, a broken soldier of the Peacemakers, carried a vicious grudge against Superman. It began in Brazil when Superman humiliated his unit. Smith snapped, firing wildly at innocent villagers, but his hands shook so badly he missed every shot. Begging for help, Smith was instead brainwashed by Brainiac under Ra's al Ghul. They tortured him, carved him apart, and rebuilt him into a cyborg war machine promoted for his so-called dedication to peace. In Smallville, Smith finally drew blood. He shot Superman with kryptonite bullets, weakening him enough to gain the upper hand. As he was about to kill Superman, RA stopped him because they wanted to keep Superman alive. Later, Raz handed Smith a new kryptonite weapon and ordered him to make God proud, but when Smith faced Superman again, the Man of Steel destroyed him in just 4 seconds. Raz then turned on Smith, firing at his head, but Superman blocked the bullet with his own hand, saving the very man who had hunted him. Christopher Smith's story isn't one of peace. It's a tragedy of a broken man, rebuilt as a monster, and discarded as nothing more than a failed weapon. In DC vs. Vampires, Christopher Smith faced a brutal end. Alongside Adam Strange, he was sent on what seemed like a simple mission, moving cars to clear a path for the other heroes. But things spiraled out of control when they discovered Plastic Man warped into a serpent. As they fought, a vampire Hawkgirl ambushed them, slaughtering Adam Strange. Then came the true terror of Vampire Wonder Woman. The group resisted, but she tore through them with ease. Peacemaker fought until his last breath, but Diana ended him with her own hand, piercing straight through his chest. In the 2006 Blue Beetle run, Christopher Smith, the Peacemaker, was basically retired. He wasn't even wearing the Peacemaker mantle anymore. Despite stepping away from the helmet, he became an important ally to Jaime Reyes, the new Blue Beetle. At first, their partnership was just convenience. Jaime wanted to understand his alien powers, and Christopher wanted to know how to stop the invasion connected to them. But over time, the bond grew stronger. Christopher became Jaime's mentor and, more importantly, a guiding figure who cared about him. He wasn't in costume, and he wasn't chasing peace at any cost. For Jaime, he was something much rarer, almost like family. As a bonus, let's cover the ending of Adrian Chase's run as Vigilante. And trust me, it's one of the darkest conclusions in DC Comics. Adrian Chase started as a district attorney, later a judge. But when his wife and children were murdered by the mob, he became the masked vigilante, punishing criminals the law couldn't touch. But over time, his crusade consumed him. He grew more unstable, more violent. At one point, while trying to retrieve Vigilante's weapons and gear after Winston Duke's death at the hands of Peacemaker, Adrian accidentally killed a police officer. In the final issue, chased by the police, Adrian instinctively shot his close friend Captain Arthur Hall. Believing he had killed him, Adrian realized he had become exactly what he once swore to destroy. Back in his apartment, Adrian reflected on everything, the innocents hurt, the mistakes he could never undo. He asked himself a chilling question: if I punish those who kill, then shouldn't I punish myself too?